Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Today our grammar lessons are going to continue with sentences. So we've talked about all the parts of speech, and today we're going to move on to parts of a sentence. So sentences need to have a subject and a verb. You know that, that's really basic. My cat is orange. Your subject, my cat. Your verb is a linking verb. It's not an action verb. It's linking my cat with being orange. And this part of the sentence is orange. That's your predicate. So we have my cat is the subject, is the verb, and is orange is the predicate. So a sentence has a subject and a predicate. George rode his bike. The subject is George. That's the who or what in the sentence. What did he do? He rode his bike. The verb is rode. The whole predicate would be rode his bike. Every sentence has two parts. A sentence must be a complete thought for it to make sense. The subject of a sentence is the naming part that tells who or what. The predicate begins with the verb and is the telling part. And most of the time, the subject can be found at the beginning part of a sentence. Okay, so sometimes we have compound subjects. My cat and my dog play together. That means I have more than one subject in this sentence, my cat and my dog. What do? They play together. Catherine, John, and Billy are in the same class. I have more than one subject. Compound means more than one. Catherine, John, and Billy are my subject. They are in the same class. Well, I can also have compound predicates, more than one verb in the sentence. Tyrell read and studied. What did he do? He read. He also studied. So we've got two verbs there, so that makes it a compound predicate. Tyrell read, studied, and slept. Again, there's more than one verb. This time we have three, so it's a compound predicate. Then we have independent and dependent clauses. So this is stuff that you really need to make sure that you know, because as you write, these clauses will tell you kind of what punctuation you need. It'll tell you if you need a conjunction in a certain part of your sentence, and it'll help you give variety in your writing so you don't sound like a drone. Just, I never miss Samantha's class. I love to dance. You want to give variety, so you want to use different types of clauses in your writing. So this first clause is an independent clause. An independent clause means it can stand on its own. It's independent. It doesn't need anything else to go with it. I never miss Samantha's class. You have a subject and a verb, and it makes sense all on its own. So it's an independent clause. A dependent clause means it depends on something else for it to make sense. Because I love to dance. Because I love to dance what? That doesn't make sense all by itself. So you have to pair it with an independent clause for it to make sense. I never miss Samantha's class because I love to dance. So you've got to make sure that you have at least an independent clause, but if you have a dependent clause, you have to make sure it's paired with an independent clause for it to make sense. Then we have fragments and run-ons. So a fragment is like a part of a sentence, so a dependent clause, pretty much. The complete sentence, I need to go to the farm. Fragment, because I promised I'd pick up eggs. Well, we know that dependent clause cannot be a sentence all on its own. It doesn't make sense by itself. Because I promised I'd pick up eggs, what? You've got to pair it with that complete independent clause. I need to go to the farm because I promised I'd pick up eggs. So if you write a sentence and you start it with a subordinating conjunction like that, it's not going to be correct. It's going to be just half of a sentence, a fragment. And that'll be underlined on Google or Microsoft Word when you Right, because you have to have that complete sentence to make it make sense. And then a run-on sentence is two or more complete sentences or independent clauses that are not properly joined or separated. I was hungry, I ate lunch. Does that make sense? I was hungry, I ate lunch. No, you've got to put something in there to make it make sense. So you can either use a conjunction or you can use punctuation like a period or a semicolon. I was hungry. I ate lunch. Two separate sentences. That would work. I was hungry. I ate lunch. This is a semicolon and it works very similarly to a period. I was hungry, so I ate lunch. You can use a comma in this case, but if you use a comma, you're going to have to add a conjunction there. I was hungry, so I ate lunch. Any of those would work. But if you just have independent clauses together like that with no punctuation or no conjunction, it's a run-on sentence. And this is a very short one, but a lot of times if you go multiple lines in your writing and you have no punctuation, you're gonna have a run-on in there because you got to be careful to not have too many independent clauses in one sentence without your punctuation. Okay? All right, I think that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about types of sentences, and all this is review. So hopefully it's you're being reminded of it as we go over it. Okay, check Seesaw, and I'll post an activity for you today. See you tomorrow.